Well, I tell you what, Bob.
The name's John.
When we get to Red Rock, I'll buy you and Major Marquis there dinner and booze. My way of saying thanks.
I don't drink with rebel renegades, and I damn sure don't break bread with them.
Well, Mr. Ruth, you sound like you got an axe to grind against the cause.
God, renegade army. Bunch of losers gone loco, you bet I do. Wrapped yourselves up in a rebel flag as an excuse to kill and steal. This ought to interest you, Warren, in particular emancipated blacks.
Sounds like my kind of fella.
Sound to me you've been reading a lot of newspapers printed in Washington, D.C. Anywho, I'm just trying to let y'all know how grateful I am. I was a goner, and y'all saved me.
You want to show me how grateful you are? Get in there! Shut up!
Great movie. I mean, great movie experience. I mean, the whole throwback to the intermissions and everything else.
Right.
I felt like I was in a play, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so my first question is the reading, which I thought was great, where you was in the audience and you participated in the reading. Like, how was that experience compared to like other films you may have done where you have this live audience for this theatrical read?
I didn't know what the reading was going to be. I thought it was just going to be a reading for somebody. I thought Quentin maybe just wanted to hear it. Then I found out we were going to do it in front of a bunch of people, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized, maybe he was just wanting to see it in front of a bunch of people too, and see how that went. I had no idea whether he was going to make the movie or not, and didn't really talk to anybody about that. I think it's very serendipitous that Jennifer was in the audience. I didn't know that until well into the movie. I think we were either rehearsing or shooting, and she mentioned it one day, and I think that must have been pretty interesting to watch something that you.
Oh, it was just a great theatrical experience. I mean, to be in that audience, I thought that was what it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be anything other than a great night in the theater.
Oh, so you were just there happenstance. I thought you might have been already.
Yeah, and then like later I got a call that it was going to be, like months later, it was going to be a movie, and that he wanted to read me. I was like one of, I don't know, a handful of people that he was reading for this part.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I couldn't believe it.
So you guys played on screen together with Backdraft. Did that help with being chained together at all, or?
It didn't really come into it because we didn't really have that much to do in Backdraft.
She and Billy were working together on that, and I remember Jennifer very distinctly from the movie, but I thought this was going to be a brand new experience, and it was.
Yeah. So how did y'all mend that relationship? I mean, it's a very volatile relationship on screen, and how did y'all break from that, or did you have to actually have anger for the other person in an actor moment to like pull off some of those scenes? Or?
Well, when you're playing a character, you just get into the skin of the character and you behave that person, right?
Yeah.
So there's times where Daisy, over and over, drives him completely crazy. But there's something about her that he enjoys, that he likes. When you're chained to somebody for a week, you're gonna get this a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing, and I've grown accustomed to your face, and I think that that's a big part of it. That they are a bit of an old, terribly abusive married couple.
Yeah. It's really funny, and also it's like it was such a fun set to be on. So even doing the most like heinous stuff, you couldn't help but just totally enjoy the experience and enjoy being shoved and pushed, and like we just had a blast. And the stuff that we found where they're somewhat tender with each other, like these little tiny moments, just came out of what we discovered being handcuffed to each other and what that must have been like for a week. And we were handcuffed together for 5 months, so
it was fun to find and include that, and it was nice that Quentin chose to include it, because it could be a completely different relationship. That movie could look a lot of different ways, but his choices in terms of what he wanted to include, having been given the choices in different approaches in terms of different takes, it was fun for us to see the movie and see what it came out as.
One of them fellas is not what he says he is.
What is he?
In cahoots with this one, that's what he is. One of them, maybe even two of them, is here to see Domergue goes free.
Are you sure you ain't just being paranoid?
Our best bet is
duplicitous fella ain't as cool a customer as Daisy here. He won't have the leather patience it takes to just sit here. He can't handle it. He'll stop waiting. Try and create his opportunity, and that's when Mr. Jumpy reveals himself.
And what you got to say about all this?
What I got to say about John Ruth's Ravens? He's absolutely right. Me and one of them fellows is in cahoots. We're just waiting for everybody to go to sleep. That's what we're gonna kill you.
In the haberdashery, to have like all these actors in the background acting while you're acting, is that like different on screen to act and still have people, you know, is it a different focus when you have
The
all
width
this?
of the...
It's great because you really feel the whole community all the time, and that's why I think we became so close.
Yeah.
We're all still very, very close.
We pulled for each other, that's for sure. I mean, every actor there was, you know, sometimes when the baton would get passed off, you'd start pulling for the person that was the baton was being passed to.
Yeah.
And certainly when it came your way, you didn't want to do anything except hold it up as well as everybody else had.
Well, great movie, and you've got two of my favorite westerns now with Tombstone and this. So
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.